Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sadhana, and I'm an intuitive reader and healer. And this morning, I'm here with the lovely Amber Tawn of Lavender Moon. And today, I'm so excited. This is going to be an amazing hour or so. We're going to talk about Amber's new program. And it's just really a delight to have her here on the channel this morning. So hi, Amber.
Thank you so much. And hello, Sadhana. It's really great to be here. I'm excited to be on your channel.
Yes, I think it's been long overdue. And today I want you to feel free in the chat we can talk about everything. We can talk about her program. We can talk about anything metaphysical or astrophysical, or if there's a burning card question, feel free. We can deal with all of that as well too. So yeah, I want to say hi to everybody that's in the chat. Some of you have been hanging out, waiting patiently for a while. So hi to Lily Valley. Yes, you know what? It's really nice. I really like being on with Amber. It's such a good energy. Silver Star Princess, hello. Hello and welcome. And Jen, thank you for being here. Jamie, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path, hello. Hello to you and good morning from the west and east coast of North America. We're on opposite sides of the continent. So
yes.
it's kind of like, you're getting sandwiched by our vibes. So it's kind of lovely. It's like Amber is one hand of the healing energy, and I'm the other hand of the healing energy. And if you're in North America, you're getting our love from both sides. So
yes, I love that.
Yeah. And is anybody else here? So as you come in, I will try to welcome everybody that comes in and joins us. And for those of you that are watching this in the playback, please be sure to put your comments in the description box below, your questions, your concerns, anything else you want to know about the program. And also I have linked, if it's not all there, it will be updated after the live, all of Amber's contact information where you can reach out and learn more about the program. I think most of that is there. So you can look for that, and let us know as well too about your own progress with manifestation. So I'm going to start just with a real general question, Amber. Manifestation in general, how did manifestation come into your life, or the awareness of it, or the practice of it?
Okay, this is a really interesting story. So it has to do with the book. So those of you that are new that don't know who I am, I wrote this channeled book called The Art of Cosmic Creation. And the reason why my name is Lavender Moon there, and it says that the book is by Lavender Moon and it's channeled through Amber Tawn me, is because I had an experience where something was happening to me. I felt this energy inside of me, and I didn't know what was happening. It's hard to really describe. It was like this energy running through my chest and through my hands. And I was at work, and I'm doing my daily regular job, and I couldn't get rid of it. And I was like, what's happening to me? What's going on? And then I thought that I saw something above me, and I was like, am I really seeing this? Is this really happening? Am I going crazy? Like, what's going on? Do I have a health problem? Because it was a very physical feeling, and I didn't know what was going on. And then suddenly I got a thought in my head, take a picture. And I was at work, and this is from the book. I'm going to show you the picture. I took a picture, and I'm going to put this as close as I can. But as you can see, I'm in my office, and above this thing is a fluorescent light that's turned off. And as you can see, there are no lights in the room. And this appeared exactly where I was seeing this movement. And I was like, oh my goodness, is someone there? Is something there? Am I communicating with something? Like, what is happening to me? And I realized that I was, and that is what is on the cover of the book. this is Lavender Moon, or the technology that this consciousness used to speak with me. What happened is I realized that there were thoughts running through my head that were not mine, that were just coming. And I grabbed a piece of paper and I started writing. And I started writing them all down. And what happened was this book came out. They said, okay, I didn't hear it outside of my head like I heard voices. It was like thoughts running through my head and a very physical feeling through here. And in order to like discharge that energy, I had to write, and the thoughts were just coming. So what did they want to talk to me about? They wanted to talk to me about shaping your life as a reflection of your soul, or shaping your life as an expression of your soul is really a better way of saying it. So that's what this has to do with manifestation. But like, why? I said, why? Like, what's the point of that? So basically, they said that the purpose of life is expansion. It's expansion of consciousness. And how we accomplish that is through expression. In physical reality, when we express our soul, what happens is that we have to overcome all of these limitations and these previous conceptions that we get from being in physical reality. And they say, they showed me, I'm going to show you that straight from here, because I do have some visuals in the book, is basically there's the infinite. And what happens is that we filter down into this huge pool of consciousness. And what they showed me simultaneously is like the size of an ocean. There's this consciousness. And what it is it's one continuous thing. It's just the rate of frequency, the rate of oscillation of that energy, that consciousness energy that shifts and changes. And what happens is from that collective pool of consciousness, one coil of consciousness will extend down and be slowed down and anchored into physical reality by this thing that looked like an anchor, this weight that was placed at the end of the coil. And they said that this is the ego, I and me. So it's like this perception that keeps us focused in this perception of like, I'm me and you're you, so that we can have infinite combinations of expression that we couldn't accomplish by being one consciousness. So we have to perceive ourselves as separate consciousnesses, but this is just an illusion. It's not real. So when we express ourselves, we have to, that involves overcoming the ego. We have to, hi Nancy, we have to be in this lifetime, but at the same time, reach a level of awareness where we're aware of what we truly are. And that can be, very scary to do. Like me and myself, when I'm going out there and doing these things and even accomplishing writing a book, I had to overcome all of these subconscious programs and things that were holding me back because I was perceiving myself as just being me, separate. And by connecting with that pure connection, I was able to expand my awareness, my consciousness, as I continue to express my soul through my physical life. And what they say is, so you would call this manifestation or achieving your goals.
Hi, Angela.
Hey, Tiny Trinkets and Tarot. It's good to see you. By doing this, by each individual doing this, we tip or we shift the collective consciousness in that direction. And that has far-reaching effects, not just in our own personal lives, but eventually towards medicine, technology, the way our society is structured. So that's the bigger picture of it. And why manifestation?
Okay. So one little nugget here I'm picking up on is something that's very, very old. You learn when, I learned this in, I think, Sunday school was, the more you give away, the more you get back. And the idea of that connection with universal consciousness, is that an understanding that indeed we are not separate, that our consciousness is, my consciousness is your consciousness. It is always interacting with your consciousness. And is there a distance and a closeness to the interactions?
There is. You know what? The way that I see it is that there, you know, when you're talking to some people and it feels like you're on their level or you're like on the same frequency. Hey, Swan. You're on the same frequency. I don't know if I'm talking about the same thing that you're asking about.
It's all good.
But it's all good. And then you talk to some other people and it feels like you're not on the same frequency, or it's like their interests are somewhere completely different. So you do tend to attract the things into your lives that you're resonating at. And I know we've heard that a lot before. I actually do have, I'm glad I have my book next to me because, and I will be going deeply into this on the 16th, but basically they use the star for me as a metaphor for the soul. And they say that each of us have these kind of 5 coordinates, these 5 main feelings that we're seeking beyond the physical, because in reality, nothing is physical, right? And I gave an example of some, and basically what you're seeking to feel in this life. So it's not about like the house that you get or the car or the clothes or those outside things. It's about, you're trying to find a certain feeling. So you're trying to have these experiences and or date a person or get a car or a house because you're trying to experience something behind the physical, this feeling. That is vibration, that is frequency. And so you have these like core coordinates that you're looking for. And and exactly what Sadhana just said, what you are looking for is also an indication of what you're here to put out and how your soul is trying to express itself in this reality. So when you're making choices and you're looking at people and you want to interact with people or choices or have experiences, you want to ask yourself, is this going to lead to the expression of what it is that I'm trying to find, what it is I'm trying to feel beyond the physical? So, so yeah, in essence, we are all the same, but there is I guess you could say, a distance in the rate of oscillation or the frequency in which we're resonating at. That's where that distance is. It's just like the rate of energy.
I don't so much mean that we're the same as it's the interaction with each other that enhances perhaps the potential for our expression.
Yes.
And when we feel separate, when we feel alone, and you know, there's a tremendous, I feel, for me, and this is such an interesting concept because for me, the aloneness, moving into meditative space, for example, is such a high frequency, and it's in the aloneness I'm more able to connect with universal consciousness and therefore all of you. So it's only alone that I can connect. Whereas if I'm in the chaos of the 3-dimensional connections, the work in connecting is harder. You know, like the writing of the book, the I don't know, the design of the new tarot deck or whatever it is. So it's a really interesting, I don't know. Can you comment on that?
Yes, I can. You absolutely picked up on like one of the key things that I work with is that flow, is that,
Hey,
okay,
Jessica.
I'll kind of use, I don't have a paper here with me, but I'm going to use this as a visual because I always like visuals. So I'll just hold the picture this way. You see this like this wave going this way and that way. So you have this wave, right? I'm showing it this way, but you've got this wave. Let's think of a wave of frequency, any wave. And we see it along this line. And if you ask yourself, what is that line? That line is something that is constant, that is infinite, something that is at such a high rate of oscillation that it doesn't fluctuate. So that's the infinite. So our rate of oscillation or our frequency has a lot to do with how many times, if that straight line is the infinite, how many points of connection we have with the infinite, how many times we can go back into that. So Sadhana, when you are meditating, you are able to tap back into that awareness that you are connected to everything, that consciousness. And then from that, you're able to go out into your life and you're able to bring that a piece of that, what is your soul, your true being, back into your life through physical expression, through a book, or whatever it is that you're doing, through your teaching, through your yoga, through whatever it is. But the only way that you can succeed in doing that is your ability to tap back into that, which is what you're doing in the meditation and the yoga.
Okay. Yes. This is a Amazon Australia link to Amber's book, and I'll make sure I put the .com and the .ca link below later as well too. Okay, so you can all have that. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So where do we go from here? So I just want to first, so the pronoun they that you're using to refer to the guidance that the book came through, is that a they plural, or is that a they? Is there any divine feminine or divine masculine energy associated with the essence of Lavender Moon that guided you?
I feel that it's a collective energy. I also feel that it is perhaps a mix of male and female. I can't really differentiate it. I know it's not a singular. It's a they, because they always speak in we.
Okay.
It's a collective. I also feel that it is an extraterrestrial or interdimensional, because they're one and the same energy.
Mm-hmm.
When I first, like, my views right now are very different than they were before, because I was doing a lot of work with the goddess. I connected to goddess energy, and I was doing a lot of spiritual work like that. I believed that, I came into this life and then I would die and reincarnate and go into another life, and everything was very linear and clear cut. And then after I experienced this, it kind of all like all of my former ideas and the way that I saw the world just fell apart. And I see everything as like a simultaneous now. So they are they're a group. I feel like they're a group, but they're not as physical as we are. So it's hard for me to even really say what they are.
This sounds a lot like, so when I did, one of the lineages of Reiki that I trained with was William Rand's school in the US, the one that calls it Holy Fire. And they have, he's received different transmissions, Holy Fire 1, Holy Fire 2, Holy Fire 3. And when I did my Holy Fire 3 upgrade, which is a meditation, I quite literally saw a pantheon of interdimensional beings sitting across my forehead, all kind of, I don't know, it's like they were all changing position, and they were all like Jesus became, I've shared this before, like Jesus became Krishna became Isis, and it was like it's this weird thing of this, something you would see like in a cartoon. And I don't know if there were extraterrestrial beings there, but the message was loud and clear, and it's one I have received many, many times. And that is energy is energy is energy, and spirit is spirit is spirit. And we can't, however we connect with it is perfect.
Yes, absolutely. And they tell, like, this whole book, like, those of you that have read it, there's so many metaphors in there, because they say we have to give you metaphors in order to explain it, because your physical brain needs to be able to comprehend it. So we need to give you metaphors, and we use these different forms as metaphors to connect with these things, but they're divine guidance. They're received, like the rishis, that were so connected to consciousness. They received these visions and these metaphors to bring this awareness to humanity. So it's absolutely, all of these forms are correct.
Okay, so what is the first step in your program?
See beyond the physical.
How do we do that?
So what we do, and you'll find it in the book as well, is that basically they say that our soul is looking for the soul of things, not the physical vessel. So for example, if you are looking for a new house, right? A lot of times when we're looking for something or we're trying to do something, we get very stuck on, oh, thank you so much, Jen. We get very stuck on how something should look, on how it should look on the outside. And sometimes we can get lost in that. If something's not looking quite like we thought it should turn out or look, we kind of give up, especially on goals or trying to achieve something. Or if you're out there looking for a new house and you're trying to find it and it's like, I don't like this, I don't like that. So they talk to me more about connecting to the feeling of something, because the feeling is how we interpret vibration. It's how we sense vibration, because the world is so much larger than these five senses. These are like nothing. The visible, which I'm going to go over in my master class, really like in depth, this electromagnetic spectrum of visible light that we can see is like that. It's nothing. And what we can hear is nothing. And then we're using all these physical tools to interpret our physical world that has been interpreted by your brain, that just takes what you've learned before and recycles it. We're seeing like that much of reality, like not even that much. So in order to get in touch with the soul of things or the core of things, we want to get in touch with the feelings of it. So what you do is you look at your life, and they say that we have 5 venues of expression, 5 domains of self-expression in this physical current reality that we can use to shape as expressions of our soul. They are your physical environment. They're your mind-body machine. They call this the mind-body machine because it's a machine that you can control. That's part of what they're saying. You can actually control the machine. It's not going to control you like we think. It's our wealth as well. That can be an expression of your soul and how you want to use that and how you want to create it. Our connections. Those are our connections. When they say connections, they said connection to everything. They said your connection to the infinite, your connection to yourself, your connection to your loved ones. It's all connections, and contribution. So instead of like career, because we have many different stages of our lives. We're children and we're in school, and then maybe we have a career, some type of career, or even if you're staying at home with your kids, that's still a type of career, and retirement. So they say contribution. It's how you are giving back to the people or the world around you. And that might be a very immediate space, but it all trickles into the much larger space. So those are the 5 areas. And what you do is you concentrate on one area at a time, like your physical environment. And you're going to take your time with this. Close your eyes and really think about your ideal physical environment. And think about all of the feelings that physical environment would help, how you would feel in that ideal environment. and you write down a list. And then when you look at that list of all of those things, you try to narrow it down to one feeling that would open the way for all of the others, right? For example, in my physical environment, if I wanted to feel like peace, I wanted to feel relaxed, I wanted to feel clear, and I wanted to feel open, I could look at that and I could say, okay, well, if my physical environment felt open and not like cluttered in, I would feel peaceful and clear and relaxed and all of those other things. So what you want to do is when you look at these 5 domains, you want to do that for each domain and come out with 5 coordinates, 5 feelings that are at the core of your soul. And as Lavender Moon tells me, they are the blueprint for your soul's evolution. These 5 things are what you are seeking in life. And also, they're also what you want to, what you're here to, or how you're here to express yourself. And it may look like many different things, but those are the feelings.
This sounds so eerily familiar to something else. And I guess that's perfect because, right? It's out there, this message.
This message is out there. They tell me that it's not only me, it's coming through many different people. And the reason why they want us to do this and why they want us to see reality in this way and why this message is going to keep coming through time and time again through so many different people, through so many different things, is because it translates far beyond our daily lives. It really has to do with the shift in our collective consciousness here on Earth. And that there are these beings that want to make contact with us and they want to be with us. But in order for us to do that, we're going to have to get out of our little box.
Mm-hmm.
They want us to be able to sense and see beyond the physical. Because right now, collectively, we're in a state where we can't interact. We're a little chaotic. We're, as a whole, not like individuals, me, you, but as a whole here on Earth, we're at we're at a very vulnerable stage of our development where we can, we can cause harm to ourselves through nuclear explosions and all these other things because of our technology. So our awareness has to expand.
Okay.
That's the first step.
That's the first step.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there how many this program is how many weeks, Amber?
It's 8 weeks.
Okay. And what is the time commitment?
It's going to be 3 hours a week. It's 2 hours of a live class that is recorded so that the people can watch it back because they're going to need it, because we're going to actively work on something that you're trying to manifest in real time. And then there's another class in the middle of the week to make sure that you haven't missed anything, because I don't want anyone to fall behind or miss anything. This is to be done in real time and to give all the support that's needed to do this. And this is the way that I do it. That's the only thing that I can teach, how I digested this information.
Okay. That's really cool. Okay, so this program starts in the fall?
Yes, September 12th.
Okay, and you are going live on your channel to talk about the program on August 16th.
In depth, yes.
Okay.
So we did the first step, but there are several more steps.
Okay, so where do most people go wrong when they take up a program like this? Do you think?
Yes. Basically what happens is when you take up a goal or anything that you want to create or manifest, or you get into a program, how do you find the way to contribute? Yes, that is part of it. I'm going to answer that question in 1 second. So basically what happens is we begin and it's like, I know what I want to do. I want to go out there and do XYZ, or I want to express myself in XYZ. And then the subconscious programming comes in and it stops you. Because the ego, as I said before, is there on purpose. We need the ego to limit us. And sometimes we get confused, we become disoriented here, and we begin to think that we are the ego. And this is nothing new. This is something in yoga and the Buddha and all of that. This is not new. This is a reiteration. That we become confused and we think I am just this. And so we become submerged in all that, those limiting thoughts and beliefs of whatever our childhood was, you know. Now here's the other part that comes with the second step, which is taking control of your subconscious, is that there's this idea of affirmations, and people pick like random affirmations and they start applying those affirmations, and they don't really work, or sometimes they work for a little while. And the reason is that the way that they said it to me is, and this is nothing new either, when you think of the yin yang, that in the negative holds the seed of the positive. So they said that this life, what you come into, is the clay that you chose to create your expression out of. So everything that you went through and all of your limiting beliefs are actually the pathways to what it is that you're trying to express. So you don't want to pick an affirmation, a random affirmation. You want to pick an affirmation that directly works with a specific limiting belief that's stopping you. That's the way that it's going to work. So unless we work with that first, our subconscious, like we're preparing the soil.
Can you give an example, please?
Yes, absolutely. So let's say that I want to, or do you want to do an example? Do you have a fear or a past one? It doesn't have to be a current, or something that's come up that you wanted to do something and then something stopped you?
No, I have another way that I can share this. So what you are saying here is that the experience of our past, whatever lingo you want to put around that, you know, our shadows, our samskaras, and all of that,
Absolutely.
they're an important part of, I use the word clay, right? They're an important part of the stage that we have set so we can play out this role. So it's really important not to ditch those nasty things because they have informed the next step.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just thinking. So picking a random affirmation that feels entirely uncomfortable, or setting in like a New Year's goal that is ridiculously outside of where we are, is truly setting ourselves up to fail.
Yes. And also also thinking of like, my goal should be this because I see it here and there. And so my goal should look like that, instead of locking into the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically for you, like the way that you do things.
Right.
So, so if we were to get a limiting belief, like let's say me, or let's say you want to start a YouTube channel, because there are a lot of people out there that maybe want to start their YouTube channel, but they're scared.
Hi, Julia.
Hey. They're scared to start their YouTube channel because maybe they have the limiting belief that, you know, what they have to say is not important, or that what they have to say will be judged, because maybe that was a major life theme in their life or in their childhood. And when they spoke, maybe their parents said, like, you know, just be quiet, you have no common sense, or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's a very common one.
So here's one for me was, oh, you're too much.
You're too much. Yeah. That's one.
Yeah.
So whenever you want to complete a certain goal or whatever, these ideas start to come up, and it's like, oh, okay, I want to go out and do this. And then that thought comes, oh, remember, like, don't be too much, and then it stops you. Hey, Gerald, it stops you from that self-expression in that way. Hi, Pawan, it's good to see you. So instead of just picking a random affirmation like that you get from a book or that you heard on YouTube or something like that, you want to work on that specific arena of changing what that means to be too much into a positive way, and then start engaging with it and acting on it in a way that expands your consciousness, because you have to go beyond that limitation and expresses what you're trying to express. How do you find a way to contribute? That's a very good question. So what I have found is that basically when you're looking at the feelings, the things that you want to feel, those are indications of what you're here to express in this physical world, right? So when you start engaging with that and you actually take on a specific goal or something that you want to do, and you start engaging with it and you start expressing it, because everyone has something that they want to do. It could be changing your house around. Like, it doesn't have to be something out there. Everyone has different goals, but once you start engaging with it in this way, I found that a clarity happens. And I keep saying this lately in our Facebook group, that this is really how I see the law of attraction, is that once you start engaging and acting and doing in a way that brings you towards that self-expression, these ideas and this clarity of how we want to express ourselves become more clear through the law of attraction. That's what the law of attraction is for me. It's that clarity, the ideas, the insights that come from the infinite, connecting back to the infinite, like you said, that just become clearer and clearer and clearer. When I started down this path, I had no idea that I would be doing this work. I just liked tarot cards. That's all I knew. And slowly it happened.
Okay. So how does your program differ from other people's programs?
I would say that one of the main differences is how I action plan. Because I've seen other programs, and I've looked at other programs where they're kind of like, okay, here are your next steps, or here are your action steps, but there's no like action plan or how you create the habits and how you set up your day in a way that works with cosmic law, that is organic, that is flexible. And there's a way that I plan in the book. I talk about, I'm going to show you, because I want to show you. There are 5 stages of cosmic creation. And we know these 5 stages because we're really familiar with them in tarot. Or at least that's how they describe them to me, probably because that's where my head was. And they always like to choose metaphors. So they say that this is how the desire moves, or the feeling or the soul of something moves from the realm of the ether into the physical. And so there are different stages, like I'll just show you right here. I'll keep showing you. The realm of ether. So something starts as a desire. You like something, like you're here, you're into tarot, you're here, you like to watch paranormal stuff. You don't really know why, but you're really attracted to it, and you keep coming back to it. Or you're so attracted to flowers or gardening. It could be anything, really. And you just can't leave it. You have to keep coming back to it. There's some sort of desire there. Then you get a thought, right? That's in the next realm. You get a thought at 30 degrees. And it's an idea of something that you want to do or something that you see, or it's like a picture of how you want it to happen physically. And then after that, what happens is it reaches the realm of water. Water is emotions, and that's also the subconscious. And this is where we get stuck, like right here. It gets halfway. If you get through here and you set your subconscious in alignment with your soul, which is the step 2, then you can move into action. When I plan, my action plan has all of these things in front of me so that I see what the thought is, and I also see what is my limiting belief. And to get me to the action, I actually work with it. Like I have a board that I work with that I made.
Cool.
And that is part of the program that I don't see any programs having, like how you actually work with this in real time and like on a daily basis. And so a lot of people do ask me, like, how do you get so much done? And this is how I get so much done. This is how I do things. And it's always evolving. It's always changing, but that's how I do things right now. And so I take all of those realms into, and I have to see them in front of me. And I take them into, into mind when I'm doing an action. I don't just create a goal and make a list of tasks and deadlines. That is the worst thing that I found to do, because I always fail when I do that. It needs to be flexible, and it has to change, and it has to work with the law of attraction. When you get an insight of what you need to do next, maybe something that you thought you had to do needed to be thrown out, or maybe you're trying to do something and you're seeing this new thought come up, this new belief that you didn't know was there. And then you need to work on that and then take the other action. Bye, Lily. It's good to see you, Lily. I haven't seen Lily in a while.
Excuse me. I'm going to mute myself. I have to sneeze.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I think it's passed.
Okay.
Okay. So this is fascinating. Do these realms not look like the realms in the Tree of Life?
It is all the same. The Tree of Life, the tarot. I'm sure if you go into any other religion and any other, there's a reason why it's there, because this is pure information that many people throughout all of history, they've been interacting with us all along since we started. And we forget and we separate ourselves, and wars happen and we get discombobulated and all of that. But it's the same thing. Yes, it is the same as in the Tree of Life.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at those triangles, right? The way
it's
that
all connected.
It's all connected. I had a dream last night, Amber. I had a dream that, and maybe that's because I've been teaching so much tarot, and part of my path of tarot and the way that I've been able to just run with this and to do so many readings in one day is that I follow the path. So I look for the patterns, and it's like the patterns guide me. Yes. Right? So whether it's the twos or a shape or a pattern of color or something. And so in this dream, I can't remember now because I didn't write it down. I was at some ungodly hour, and it was a godly hour. I was just being led down this path of numbers and patterns, and it was crazy. It was so beautiful, and it was so affirming. And it was like, as I was walking down this path, all these things were just like click, 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 click. Quite literally, I could hear the sound of things falling into place. And yeah, so follow the whatever your symbol is, follow your symbol.
Yes. And that makes perfect sense to me, because when you're talking about numbers and patterns and geometry, when they look at vibration or certain frequencies of different things, and if you've ever seen that thing where they put the speaker and the salt or the sand, that experiment, and they set a certain frequency, it comes out in mathematical patterns in geometric shape. So that makes perfect sense that you were dreaming of that, and they were clicking into place.
And if you meditate on certain mandala, or if you meditate on the Sri Yantra, crazy things can start to happen. Okay, so here's something, Amber, that I want to talk about, and that is preparation for this. So on the path to awakening, we can't just jump into the pool, or we will end up in the mental asylum, like many, many people have.
Yes.
Right? Because our nervous system can't handle this. So we end up on meds, or we in incredible self-doubt. So how do you manage the nervous system? The
This is
preparation.
also, yes, this is a super important thing that I talked about a little bit recently about. Here's the thing. The first thing is that not everyone's ready to do this type of work and to go down these paths. We're a collective consciousness, and we're moving like this, like pieces of us are expanding this way and pieces of us are contracting this way, and that's okay. So not everyone is in the state where they can handle this work, and not everyone should be at this point. The second thing is that those of us that we have to also realize that we need a balance in our lives because we are human. So we don't want to go off into these realms and like meditate all day and be all here and like not be able to function, because this is also not going to work. And this is also defeating the purpose of shaping our lives as an expression of our soul, because we're here to do physical work. Like if you want to go back to Kabbalah, we're in the world of Asiya, which Oseh is to do. We're in the world of doing. We have to do. So if you're not doing and you're going all up there, you're going to like fry out the circuits. So when I talked about that wave where we connect with the infinite and then we go up, but then we have to go down. The wave has to go down below. And there has to be time. I take time every single day to disconnect from this work and to be human. And then I take time during the week as well, where I have to make sure that I am also, you have to do both. I have to take time that, yes, I'm going into myself and retreating into the soul to connect to my source. Then I have to take this aligned action based on it and go out and take some action to shape my life as an expression of my soul, because that's what I'm here to do. And then I have to go back and I have to do mundane things. I have to connect with the people around me, my son, your family members, whatever it is. And sometimes you need to just turn on Netflix and watch a show, or sit on the beach with your friends and laugh, or just do something that is just, you need to be human too. That's why we're here. If you don't, and you go completely into it, you can reach a point where you feel like the Tower card, like your whole world is falling apart because you just don't even know what's real and what's not real, and what's, you're going to fry out your circuits.
Do you want to comment on Julia's comment?
Julie says, I think the nervous system can handle it if you know it's okay to journey this way. Seriously, how much of the fear of powerful places induced by institutions? I get what Julie's saying. Yes, it's just the amount of time that I'm talking about. So there is a time to journey there. Yes, we can. Those of us that are ready, we can go there, we could journey, we can expand our conscious, we could go there. And then we have to take a break and be human and feel separate. Not separate in a bad way, but separate like, okay, I'm Amber. Like, I'm going to go, I'm going to hang out and watch this movie. This movie's fun. So that we don't, that pull back creates more of a capacity to expand back when I go back, or when you go back.
It's this really beautiful dance between the devil and the Tower card. And when I teach chakra work and understanding the devil card from a chakra perspective, from a Swadhisthana chakra perspective, about that right to live in joy and to feel pleasure and to be here in this three-dimensional experience. We chose to be here in this three-dimensional experience. So how can we maximize all of our experiences here, but not, tip the scale too far, so that we end up frazzled in a tower moment? But the tower moment is about always listening to that constant rumble underneath, so that we can, this is one interpretation, I've got lots of different, so that we can keep our container, our tower, our physical body well and whole, right? And then the star is this beautiful kind of purification energy. Like those three cards, I think, are a huge key to all of this. There's something really, really magical there. And I understand what Julie's saying, because a lot of it is that quick judgy perspective that says that, that calls you woo woo, or tells you you're crazy, or, there can be some, gaslighting or narcissism that's involved, and you get shoved away. And, we've both been through that. I'm sure we both know plenty of people who've thrown those kind of things out. And fortunately, we're still here doing our work.
Yes. I have to tell you, every time I say I speak to an extraterrestrial consciousness, I hear it. I hear what I'm saying. And I get that. Yeah. I'm human. I know it sounds crazy to many people on the outside, but my soul feels that it's true. So I live in both worlds too. And I know that. And you know what, when I first started to communicate, I got scared a lot. I'd throw my lights on. Like if I saw something, I started being very scared because of my past conditioning. And
hi, Peter.
That you're here lurking. The way that we're brought up.
Mm-hmm. And recently I'm having a lot of conversation with the trees. Some of those of you that have been listening know what's going on with one of my daughters. And if anybody walked into my space where I have my little conversation with the trees, or was a little further down the path and I didn't know they were there, they would just have the time of their life listening to my conversation. But I believe the trees are sentient beings.
I do.
And my conversation is my words are heard, and the energy that I receive back is felt. And I'm okay with that at this point in my life.
I know that they sense the energy of our words, their vibrations, and we can sense them, and they're part of this entire consciousness.
Hi,
They're
Andy.
living beings. Hi. And they're here just like us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I had one other question that I wrote down, just because there's a lot of card people here.
Yes.
Is there any way that our tarot oracle practice can help keep us on track?
Yes, absolutely. Because one of the biggest things in order to engage with all of this, or to be able to speak to your soul, or be open to those feelings and those messages that you're getting from your own soul, is trust. It's self-trust. And tarot is one of my favorite tools, and oracle, because you have to trust your intuition and your feelings in order to give the reading. If you don't, you can't complete a reading. So it's really a wonderful tool to build that trust between you and your soul and your intuition, because that's what it is. To me, intuition is just your ability to trust yourself and to trust those messages. We all have it. It's just your level of trust that you have with yourself. So it's a wonderful tool to work on with that, for sure. Absolutely.
Okay. So what can people expect at the end of the 6-week course? And I know that's a very goal-oriented question. I'm fully aware of that.
Yes.
That this course probably is just the beginning of the journey with a new perspective.
Yes, it
But
is. But at the end, well, that's interesting because at the end of the course, I made this course so that you could keep taking it. Once you, not a membership, you take it and then you can take it again and again and again for the life of the course, because I know that the goals are ever evolving. So once you're done with the 8 weeks, well, you can still hop on all the calls and all the content and everything for another 8 weeks and another 8 weeks and another, because you're going to want to keep creating in this conscious community, and everyone, you know, helping each other and creating together. So at the end of those 8 weeks, what you will have done is you will have locked into what your coordinates are, like what it is definitely that you are seeking behind the physical. You would have reprogrammed your consciousness so that you can start acting in alignment with your soul's directions. And then you would have already started an action plan or a way of acting, and as well as a routine where you are acting in tune with your with everything that's coming to you, and you're using that, and you're developing, you're growing, you're changing, and you will have learned how to tap back into yourself so that you could really reinforce what you've learned. You would have completed a good amount of, it depends on your goal, because I don't know what everyone's goal is. It could be like a year-long goal, or it could be a very short goal that you would have attained your goal, or you would have been you know, halfway or well on your way and have a complete system to keep doing it and keep manifesting what it is that you're trying to create. Thank you, Silver Star Priestess. It's good to see you. So that is what you would have.
okay.
Basically a complete method.
Okay. So who is this course not for?
Okay, so if you are already, you know, like Julie, okay, Julie Kushia Watts, there's a good example. So she is, I'm also like looking at the comments. I just saw her name, what she was saying. She gets her inspiration and she like makes her deck and then she puts it out there. So if you are already like, you know, moving right along, you get everything and you just do it, and you're moving forward and you feel yourself expanding and you're creating new things, and then this is not for you because you're already doing it. You're naturally doing it. Second thing is, if you are still afraid of the non-physical and you're working on that fear and things still kind of creep you out, you get into it for a little while, but then you kind of pull back because it's like a little too much for you, then it's not for you, because it could be very intense. It's going to be 8 weeks intense. If you're happy with the way everything is right now and you're not looking to change anything in your life or take on, you know, work on conditioning the mind or going like deep into yourself or your past, then this is not for you as well. You just might not be there right now, and that is totally fine.
Okay. And are you limiting the size of the groups?
Yes, it's limited.
Okay. But the graduates can hop back on at any point.
At any point, forever. And every time I upgrade the course, as I go through each one, you know, being a teacher, I know from just being an actual teacher, you know, I have a master's of science in education and another one in educational leadership, that I know that once you go through the course and you work with the students, is that many times you find different things, and then so I'll want to upgrade. And with every single one, you get grandfathered in.
Okay. So the course, yeah, it's not just the way, right? Your courses are always evolving.
Always evolving.
Always evolving. Yeah. Okay. And there any, I don't think we've missed any of the questions in the chat, but we have a couple of minutes. If there's anything else you would like to ask Amber or myself.
Yes. And if you're not sure, if you're curious, but you're not sure if the course is a right fit for you, then you could click on the link below in the description and we can talk, because it's not for everyone. And I already turned away 3 people. So it's not for everyone. So if you want to find out if it actually does match what you're trying to do or what you're trying to create, then definitely hop on a call with me and we'll figure that out.
That sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. I really look forward to hearing how this all grows and evolves, and be sure to pick up Amber's book so you can really review and understand better what she's saying. Yeah, and I for sure I will. I'll put the link down below later. Yeah. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to mention, Amber?
I think that's it. I'm going to have an in-depth masterclass, which is an overview of the entire course that I'm still preparing the slides. It's a lot of information, on August 16th, live on YouTube here on my channel at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're still curious and you want to go into like the nuts and bolts of everything that I'm talking about, because we just kind of like glanced over it or glossed over it, be sure and join that masterclass. I'm only going to have it up for a few weeks. So I will be taking it down after a few weeks. Once I close the course, I will not be accepting anyone else in. So I will take it down, but it's going to be really in depth.
Okay. Oh, I don't. I'll put it up later. I saw the thumbnail. It's already. I've seen it in my feed before, so I'll make sure that gets put down below as well too. All right. Well, thank you all so very, very much for being here. It's your questions, your comments have been so supportive and great. And make sure you reach out to Amber and schedule a call for her if you're just not sure if this is something that you're ready for at this time. And yeah, and I look forward to chatting with all of you very, very soon. Take good care of yourselves, and namaste.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sadhana.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Bye-bye.